Hi everyone, welcome back to my vlog. I'm Robin, or A Hobbit's Reading List, and this week we are starting our reading week with Yom Kippur, which is not a huge reading holiday, but in order for me to get to temple for services, I will have a lot of reading time, as well as my journey home tonight. I'm coming off of a weekend of traveling, and it's been very hectic. And after Yom Kippur today, I don't think I have anything else going on this week. I really don't think so. So hopefully we will get a lot of reading done. So let's see how I do. So I wanted to vlog real quick because I believe I filmed the intro yesterday and then didn't film anything else. Yesterday, Yom Kippur service was good. It's a very solemn holiday, so I don't know if good is the right word. It was very meaningful. I enjoyed being there. I didn't get back home until like almost 8 o'clock, so I didn't eat till almost 8 o'clock because Yom Kippur is a fasting holiday. So Stephanie and I went out to eat, but on the train, I read more of John Henry Days. I have like less than 100 pages left. I think I read about 100 pages on the train. Sorry, I didn't mean to show you my eye. And that's the train to Chicago in the morning and then a train home. It's getting interesting. I have a suspicion that the thing that has been foreshadowed is not actually going to happen by the end of the book. I believe it happens. It's point blank said, it like, because the book jumps around a lot, and so like I know that something happens, but I don't think it's going to happen within the context of the main storyline, which is a little aggravating. But it is an interesting book. I will probably finish it tomorrow because I have to have it finished for class on Thursday. And then I will switch over to Carry On Jeeves. So yeah, so that's probably going to be it for my September reading. And Thistlefoot, which I have continued listening to on audiobook. Speaking of Thistlefoot, I listened to about, I would say probably almost like 3 hours today. Just between driving to school, driving to work, and then driving home. So I think I'm like 23% of the way through. I'm enjoying it. For people who don't know, I guess I could have explained what John Henry Days is about too, but I will try to do that when I finish it. I've already moved on. I will say I did not have a good day at work today. So if I seem a little in a mood, that's why. So Thistlefoot is about this pair of siblings, Isaac and Ballantine, who inherit a house from their like great grandmother, and maybe only 2 greats. She lived in Russia, and she bequeathed her house to her youngest living relatives 70 years after she died. Which is cool, except the house has chicken feet. It is a house on top of large chicken feet. There's a lot of like Jewish folklore and Slavic folklore built into the story. If anyone knows the story of Baba Yaga, there's a lot of that in the story, which makes sense because a house on chicken feet is a big part of Baba Yaga. So it's really interesting. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm getting more into the story. I was a little nervous switching over to Thistlefoot after finishing Lord of the Rings, just because I'd been in Middle Earth for a month and a half. But I think, Thistlefoot is a really engaging story. Like, we get to meet the house very quickly. And so that means we get pulled into the mystery surrounding it very quickly. And we also get perspectives from the house. which is fun. So yeah, so that's sort of what's going on. I got off work a little bit early, so I'm gonna eat dinner, watch some YouTube. I have a couple of work things to do by tonight, so I'll go ahead and get that taken care of. And then I might just read the rest of the night, because honestly, I've had a hard day, and I'm not looking forward to going back to work tomorrow. I think it's going to suck monkey balls. Maybe suck bigger balls. I don't know. It's going to be awful. I can say that with certainty, and I don't know what that means for my future. But that's what's going on with me. So that's my plan. I will let you know what ends up happening. Night. I will apologize for the quality of this vlog. While last week you didn't get a lot of reading because the weekend was chaotic, this week you're not getting a lot of reading because my work life is falling apart and it's distressing. That being said, I did finish a book today. I finished John Henry Days by Colson Whitehead about an hour and a half before the class where I had to have it finished. For anyone who doesn't know, John Henry Days is about the first John Henry festival. John Henry is a folk hero who was a railroad worker, in the, I think, like late 1800s or something. But pretty much there was a bet that he could hammer steel on this track faster than a steel driver machine. And he ended up doing that, but he very quickly ended up dying, presumably because of the effort and the stress that that had on his body. So the book itself, though, like, goes a little bit into that, but it is, Reese is rubbing against the phone, so I'm very sorry. But it also focuses on this guy named Jay, who is a journalist, but it's very loose. He calls himself a junketeer because essentially him and his fellow junketeers go to events to, like, write essentially fluff pieces to, like, promote the event or media or, media machine and stuff like that. But it's mainly so they can get free stuff. So he goes to West Virginia for this. Buddy, I have another hand. You don't need to rub against that one. He was like pressing his face against my forearm for pets, but I'm like, I have a whole other hand that isn't doing anything. It's over here. Come over here. Such a weirdo. He can tell I'm upset. But buddy, lay down. There we go. There, at least you can see him. Anywho, Jay has to go to this festival to write about it for a company, and some of his other friends are there to write their own pieces. And pretty much, while that is the plot, a lot of the book is focused on Reese brushed against the screen and turned the recording off. A lot of the book is focused on the racial differences and the differences in experiences, especially for Black people and white people. Jay is one of like 5 Black people in this town in the main plot. There are other Black people throughout the story, but like in this main plot where like Jay is very aware that he's outnumbered and he doesn't feel safe. So that's it's a very chaotic book. It jumps around a lot, which serves a purpose. It really does. You know, you get sucked into it a little bit, and I had to read it for class, so we talked a lot about like why. So I'm not going to go into all that, but it was a very interesting book, and for the most part, I did like it until the last 100 pages. That part sort of lost me, and I am not someone who likes ambiguous endings, and this had an extremely ambiguous ending, and you can sort of assume how it ends, but I don't like assuming that. I like being told. There are a lot of things I don't like being told, but I like being told how a story ends. And so I gave it 3.5 stars, mainly because of the ending and the last 100 pages. I think up until then it was very well written, and it served the purpose that it was trying to serve. So now that that's done, I'm going to move on to reading Carry On Jeeves. I'm going to try to have it read by Monday so that we can record the podcast. And I think that's going to be my month. I don't think I'm going to finish Thistlefoot by Sunday. So it's most likely it's going to be counted in my October wrap up. That's sort of what's going on. I didn't really get much done today because my work life fell apart. Pretty much someone is leaving and I'm going to bear the brunt of it. Which sucks because I already don't like my job. I don't like my field. My job itself is good for what it is. I don't like my field, so yeah. But I'm not gonna really do anything else today. I didn't really get much done today. Around 5 is when I found out, and I went to dinner with Stephanie because I needed to just be around someone and get support, and that's what I did, and I'm very glad that I did. I feel better. But tomorrow I work, and it's gonna suck. So, but I am hoping to get more reading done. I will listen to Thistlefoot tomorrow, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So, just wanted to give an update. Good morning. I'm very tired. Work has sort of calmed down. It's going to be very stressful over the next couple weeks because I may have mentioned, I don't remember, one of my coworkers is leaving. She's in the management team with me, and so I will be picking up her duties pretty much, so I'll have more work. But after talking to my boss yesterday, it shouldn't be much more than I'm doing now, so that's good. I have listened to more of Thistlefoot, but otherwise I haven't read much like physical books. But with Thistlefoot, I'm at exactly 50%. I'm still enjoying it. I think before I read John Henry Days, I would maybe be a little put off by some of the jumping around. There's like 2 simultaneous stories. There's the story with Bellatine and Isaac, and then there's the story with Baba Yaga, like 100 years before, which is like, it's fine, but the Baba Yaga story jumps a little bit. Like, it doesn't seem linear. I mean, I guess for the most part it is. I don't know. What I was gonna say is, like, it bothers me less now that I've read John Henry Days and there was so much jumping around there. Because I do generally like a linear story. Because I read for fun. I don't read to make my brain work. I It's just not what I do. So I'm still really enjoying it. I will be interested to see what happens next and to just learn more about Baba Yaga, because I really didn't know much about before. So other than that, like I said, I really haven't read that much. I'm hoping to read today because I have to finish Carry On Jeeves before I can start any of my October books, which will be difficult if I don't finish Carry On Jeeves by Monday, because I have to start reading Parable of the Sower for class. I have to have at least half of it read by Tuesday morning. So, on sort of time crunch, but I also have to write an essay by tomorrow night. Can you tell that I procrastinate and wait until the last minute? I'm going to blame my ADD for that. But yeah, other than that, I got home from work last night. Chris made me dinner, which was very nice to just like walk in and dinner already be made, and he bought wine. And so we had dinner together, and then I did some more work stuff. But then I just fell asleep on the couch. So, yeah. And now I have so many things I have to do today. I have to write an essay. That's the main like priority, but like I have so many other things I have to do. Like we have to clean because Chris is gonna have people over tomorrow for the football games. And yeah. So, alright, I'll stop procrastinating. I guess I'll do things now. Or I can cuddle with Reese. I forgot to end the vlog. God, when was the last time I filmed? Fashion. You can't move the camera. You can't move the camera. No. You're gonna move the camera. Lay down. Alright, well now I'm on a time crunch of how long he'll leave the camera alone. I filmed at some point. Friday, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I think it was Friday. Because Thursday I went out with Stephanie. I have started reading Carry On Jeeves. I've read 3 stories now. There are 10. And I mean, I'm enjoying it. I like the Jeeves stories. The camera's slowly tilted because of Bastion. I have it balanced on the cat tree. I don't know if that's ever been obvious, but I'm just gonna try to. Oh, too much. Oh, too much. There we go. Okay, maybe he'll leave it alone. Are you gonna leave it alone? Are you? Please? Maybe that worked. Of course, he's also blocking my light, which is the whole reason I film at this location. So that's great. I like the Carry On Jeeves book so far. 2 out of the 3 stories that I have read before in a different collection. And I know Dad did tell me that that would be the case. And he also told me that some of them are like Reggie Pepper stories that have been like edited to be Wooster stories. But I think the 2 that I read have just been Jeeves and Wooster stories that I've read before. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it. But so I'm like 30-ish% through, which makes sense. And I will have to take a little break from it over the next couple days because I need to read a class book. But ideally, I will have it read by Thursday so that Dad and I can record the podcast. So that's that. I've also continued listening to Thistlefoot. I'm about 64% through, and things are getting interesting. Like, we're getting more history about the house and about Baba Yaga, and I think we're gonna start seeing soon, like, all the random bits of history and everything, like, come together. So that'll be really cool, because I am really enjoying the story. I'm enjoying the characters. There's a surprise, like, queer storyline. And I just say surprised because on Storygraph there's nothing about it being LGBT. So I was like, oh, there it is. Yay. So I enjoy that. And I think that's it. Does your ear itch? Do you want help? Do you want some help? Is that okay? I don't think he's ever let me do that before. Bastion is not my cat. Like, he is, but if he had to pick human, he would immediately go to Chris, not even consider going to me. So the fact that he lets me, like, scratch inside his ear is kind of a big deal. So that's what I've read this week. I've finished a book. I really do think October will be better as far as, like, reading more books from my own collection rather than class books. I only have 3 class books to read this month, and one of them is this upcoming week. One of them I'll be reading throughout the month. I'm gonna get it done by next week, and just read ahead, because I don't like reading a certain amount of pages each week. I know I did that with the Hermaphrodite, but that's just because I was also reading so many other things. And then I have another one in the, like, second to last week of October. So that's what it is. I know this week was, again, a little sparse. I tried to be better, but I wasn't expecting work to implode. But hopefully now that that all is mostly resolved, then it'll be okay. We'll be fine. We're good. We're going in October. It'll be sweet. It'll be fine. So leave a comment, giving me well wishes. I'd appreciate it. Like the video, subscribe, click notification bell, all that jazz. And I will catch you guys next week. Bye.